Thousands of IndiGo passengers faced a tough time on Saturday as the airline faced system outage for more than 7 hours, leading to long queues, longer waiting time for check-ins and baggage drop process at the airports. Now, passengers shared pictures of crowds at airports and handwritten boarding passes. The outage left many passengers unable to board flights or book tickets, leading to considerable delays and frustration for those stranded at the airports. Later, the airline informed that while airport systems are up and running, it may take a little time to achieve full normalcy. Despite efforts to manage the situation, frustration continued to build among flyers. Passengers took to social media to express their frustration. One user posted on platform X, formerly Twitter, "It's good to invest in new aircraft, but how about improving the ground services?" Viewers, the network outage comes at a time when IndiGo continues to solidify its dominance in India's domestic aviation sector. In August, domestic air traffic rose by 6% year-on-year, reaching 13.1 million passengers. IndiGo increased its market share by 40 basis points, bringing its total share to 62.4%. Let's go across to Sanjay Lazar. He's an aviation expert. He joins me to discuss this further. A very warm welcome to you, Mr. Lazar. My first question to you would be, what specific technical issues led to the system outage at IndiGo yesterday?
Well, we've all seen and read about the major system outage that took place at IndiGo. I believe it was with its software systems, which stopped taking bookings, the reservation system that was checking in passengers at airports. Now, IndiGo uses the Amadeus reservation system, which incidentally Air India also uses. In January this year, IndiGo had announced a lot of upgrades to its systems, and they're currently using a system developed by Agitus Analytics and an in-house system called 6C SKAI. So it's quite possible, because other airlines did not face this kind of an outage, that the problem stemmed from one of these two systems. Passengers had trouble booking flights, passengers had trouble checking in on web check-in, passengers had problems, even their service staff at the airport couldn't check in because the system slowdown took place. As you rightly said, it took about 7 hours to settle down, and I dare say it's going to take a couple of days to stabilize. If you remember, back in August, we had the Microsoft outage, and airlines across the world were affected. But one of the biggest affected airlines then too was IndiGo, and it took almost 4 or 5 days to restore that outage. So there's going to be a bit of a problem here, considering that IndiGo, like you correctly said, is 62% of the market and the market leader. If you look at their OTP performance, on-time performance has dropped from an 86% on Friday to 54% yesterday on Saturday. So that's a huge hit. Almost 1,000 flights were affected. So I can see there's going to be a bit of turmoil.
Right, Mr. Lazar, and also the fact that, the network outage comes at a time when IndiGo continues to solidify its dominance in India's domestic sector, domestic aviation sector. So, it essentially doesn't present a very good picture to customers now, does it?
No, it doesn't. And it also tells you that, you need other airlines, whether it's the Air India Group or Akasa or SpiceJet, to start stepping up, because this kind of market dominance that IndiGo has, which is, 62% closing on 65 very soon, if they keep this growth going on, it's difficult for the market, because customers will not, really have a choice. One disruption and, the entire system goes out of gear. Let's not forget that IndiGo has 500 odd flights monopoly on number of sectors. So that's going to be difficult for customers to handle.
Right. Mr. Lazar, finally, what kind of reforms do we need in the aviation sector to ensure, this doesn't happen again in the future?
Well, Neha, I'll tell you, this is an internal issue linked with their systems. There's really nothing. IndiGo is already spending a lot of money. I know, if Air India spent upwards of $230 million in this last few months to upgrade their IT systems. I'm sure IndiGo, being the market leader and has almost 500-600 aircrafts on order, will definitely step up and pick up their IT systems, and hopefully this should not happen again. I'm sure they'll look deep and hard.
Well, hope is all we have. Thank you very much, Mr. Lauser, for joining us with all of those important insights. Appreciate it.